Hi, this is Cody with J&C Guns. If you like our channel, if you like some of the videos we have, subscribe. We always are doing new stuff with some of the guns we show on here, and we always put new guns and new information out. Today we're going to compare the JLD Enterprises PTR 91 with a similar rifle, the CETME. This one's made by Century Arms, the CETME battle rifle. So these two are going to be compared together. Now, some of the immediate things you'll notice as far as the difference is that the CETME is a lot less refined and not as clean looking and operating as this particular PTR. I mean, you can pick up a CETME for anywhere from $400 to $600, whereas a PTR, you know, they start at $700 and go all the way up to $1,500. But there's a pretty big difference in quality, and I'm going to go over some of those points if you're considering buying one or the other. Something else to note is that these magazines can be found for about $2 a piece, and they're actual H&K 91 mags, and they actually fit inside both of these rifles, even though they are a little different. Now, these two are not clones of each other. Keep that in mind. This is made for Spain, or in Spain, for Spain, their military, and this one was originally from the German G3, which the Germans used as their main battle rifle. So one of the first things you notice when you pick up the CETME is the sight system. Oh, get stuck here. The rear sight on this is a flip sight. Here, it's kind of hard. The camera's not adjusting, but it's not a very smooth system. I don't like it at all. I don't care for it. I mean, mine aren't even necessarily canted, but if you look at how they're welded, you'll see these spots here. They've just been kind of smashed on here. So if you want to take those sights off and replace the iron sights, you're actually going to have to cut that. And then the front sight post is adjustable, you know, but you can rotate it up or down, but you really don't have any right or left. You don't have any windage on the front or the rear sight. You only have elevation. So that's not really a good feature, whereas on the PTR, the rear sight has been taken off of this because we've put a rail on here, and we're going to do a different sight system for that. We have another video where we talk about the sights we want to put on it. But anyhow, this one uses the drum system. You can Google it. It's a little circle drum that goes from 1 to 400 meters in 100 meter increments. So it does allow for some minor windage and elevation, but it mainly focuses on the elevation, and this is the front sight as well. There's a little bit of adjustment you can do with that. So that's the biggest thing for me is the sight system. You know, that's a big difference in weapons when you go to shoot one, when you go to use them. You know, especially at any amount of distance, sights are incredibly important. As far as the reliability of the two guns go, I have had wolf and brass case and various metal and brass case ammunition, lacquered ammunition, and that polymer coated ammunition through this gun, and it functions pretty reliably until you've gone through about 100 rounds, in which case the blowback system doesn't seem to be as together and smooth, and you start running into jams, failure to ejects and stuff like that. And on the PTR, you know, it's not my actual rifle, but I've shot it several times. It's actually Andrew's rifle, and he doesn't seem to have had any problems with it. It's very, very reliable. The trigger pull is smoother. The triggers are a big point to this indifference between these two. The trigger on this particular weapon is a lot more stiff. It's it's not nearly as smooth. You can see there it even has wiggle. I mean, before I've done anything. Whereas on his, it's solid, it's in place. It's a very, I mean, it's a military trigger, so it's not you know, target or competition, but it is definitely a lot nicer on the PTR than it is on the CETME as far as smoothness and crispness and same weight of trigger pull. And then the felt recoil is probably the only way, one of the biggest ways I see that the CETME, next to price, outdoing the PTR. And it's simply because it comes with a muzzle brake. Now, there's two problems with this muzzle brake. Number one, it's welded on there. It's not from the assault weapons ban or anything. That's just how they make them. And the second problem is that on the bottom side, there's 3 holes there. So when you're laying down and you fire this weapon, a giant cloud of dust goes up in the air. Additionally, this muzzle brake makes the gun considerably louder when you fire it. But at night, it makes a hell of a fireball. So then the PTR is not a threaded barrel or anything like that. Yeah, some PTRs do come with a muzzle brake. This particular one did not. And again, you can always go and get that threaded and put a muzzle brake on there. So, you know, just stock, the way they come, the CETME is superior to the PTR in that sense. As far as the safeties go, it's kind of interesting to note that this is a traditional safety. Safe is up, fire is down. I mean, some guns, you know, all guns are different, but this one's a lot smoother. It makes sense to me to have it to be easier to pull it from safe to fire. You know, safe to fire, you just pull down, then going up. Whereas, I'll show you what I mean. On the CETME, it's backwards. It's the exact opposite. Safe is down and fire is up. So the other issue I've had is that on this CETME, if you're not careful, the safety button, the selector switch, will actually fall out of the gun. It's not just something for mine. I've played with them in gun stores and it does the same thing. So that's not something I would consider to be very reliable or something I would seek for when I'm trying to use it for any purpose at all. The safety falling out is not a good thing to have. The other thing is that, like I said in the video, this seems like the CETME is a less refined gun than the PTR. The welding, if you can see that, is not as smooth. You know, you can tell they didn't even try and refine it, which, you know, it doesn't bother me. But overall, that kind of shows some of the quality and time they put in the gun, I believe. And you know, if they don't even bother to refine some of the outside of the gun, what makes you think they're going to do it on the inside? So, whereas on the PTR, it's a lot more cleaned up. The bolt is a lot smoother. Everything on it has minor differences, but they're just a lot cleaner. So it's a little better put together gun, I believe. As far as the quality of materials used in the guns, you know, you can tell automatically mine has a brown buttstock. They come with brown foregrips. Every single piece and part on the CETME is not as smooth or refined as it is on the PTR. On the PTR, for instance, in the front sight post, it actually has a front sight, an actual post, whereas mine just has a point, and that little point inside of this here can get bent from side to side. I mean, that may be a feeble attempt at windage, but I'm not a fan of it. So, and the internals on these two guns are not all interchangeable. The lower receiver on this is actually considerably different from what it is on the PTR. The bolt is different, and I've got another video where we talk about the internals a little more of these two guns as a comparison. So, if I've missed anything, let me know. The biggest reason I chose the CETME over the PTR was the price. Had I have actually spent some time and researched and had a video like this to look at the CETME and the PTR, I would have not spent the money on the CETME. I would have saved up and gotten a PTR. So that's my preference. Again, this is Cody with JNC Guns. If you like our video, subscribe. Leave me some comments below, tell me your experiences, and let me know what you think. So I have some other videos as well on these two particular weapons, so have a good day.